Hey everyone. Holy crap. You'd think after, the Brexit and the election of Donald Trump that these central planners, the control freaks among us, they'd be feeling the heat, feeling the pressure, and be backtracking and walking back from the kind of bullshit narratives that they've been putting forward through through their media counterparts, their media propagandists and pundits. Not so far. Like I say, they have that Keynesian mentality. Hey, in the long run, we're all dead anyways. So, hey, we picked the way we're going to go. No matter how bad it's going to turn out, I'm going to push on anyways, right? Wow. This is in response to, I'm sure you've all heard by now, the big oil cartel, like, the OPEC. I mean, first of all, if you ever hear anyone talking about free market fundamentals and then read an article where they're actually admitting that there's cartels. A cartel. They admit it. OPEC is a cartel where they all come together, just like this story right now, where they all came together and agreed they're going to price fix. So there's no such thing as price fixing in a free market. So the pretense of suggesting there's any form or semblance of a free market and acknowledging price fixing by a cartel such as OPEC, I mean, in addition to all the other bullshit we're constantly told and the shit that's trying to ram down our throat, come on. Come on, people. I mean, very small children can understand this stuff. So if you don't understand it as an adult, either you're fucking completely idiotic, have mental problems, and I feel sorry for you if that's the case. But if you don't, then you're just burying your head in the sand. You're just like an ostrich or someone that's trying to close their eyes and plug their ears and say, I don't want to know, right? Holy shit. But never mind that. Remember how they were always talking, so whether you're talking about when prices are going down or prices are going up. When the prices were going down, remember when the price of oil was dropping off like a cliff? Just whoa. Remember? Back in late 2014 and after that, right? How come we didn't see the price difference in the pumps immediately? Well, what was the excuse for that, right? Well, if oil prices are going down, how come the gas prices are still so expensive? Well, the political pundits, the experts, right? You got to remember the experts. Like fucking, I hate that word expert when they use that. What the fuck does that even mean, right? Expert at bullshitting? That's about it. But what they say, it takes time for this to clear through the system. It could be months, da-da-da. Wouldn't it work the other way? Oh, no. See, this is the trick, right? Because they know most people don't pay attention. Most people are just going to go about their day with their head fucking hung down in shame or sorrow or acknowledging their serfdom and their slavery, right? So they know it's like, we can do whatever we want. We've beat the ambition, the courage and conviction out of most people now. So, let's not put any effort into putting up some false pretense or narrative. Let's just don't even put that effort into it, right? Listen to this. Expect gasoline prices are likely to rise. How does that even... They don't even know. Who the fuck do these people, like, this is a CBC article, and it's quoting a Reuters article, but it's like, who writes, how do you start a sentence with, expect gasoline prices are likely to rise 5 cents a liter overnight at pumps in Ontario and Quebec? Expect. If you're going to start it with expect, it would be expect gasoline prices to rise 5 cents, right? But I mean, the level of incompetence, even in their writing abilities, and I mean, after you've written an article, and think about, most of these articles are only like 3 or 4 paragraphs, 5 paragraphs. Well, you can't go back and proofread that shit. So if they're not even competent enough to proofread their own articles before they present it in public, put it in a publication, I mean, what else needs to be said of how much work or effort they're going to put into trying to figure out honest or objective truth regarding the oil prices? I mean, that alone should speak volumes. Anyways, push pumps in Ontario and Quebec and 4 cents in Vancouver and Western Canada after the price of oil pushed through $51 US a barrel on Thursday, says petroleum analyst Dan McTeague. It is Thursday, but the price of oil. Overnight. So overnight. And all they did was basically agree to it. There hasn't even been a freeze yet, right? Like you're pumping away. They haven't frozen yet, but and we know that there's a massive glut of over in excess of 3 billion barrels all around the world. And that's stored in whether it's the onshore facilities, right? And these big storage tanks, or offshore tankers, as I explained and talked about in past videos, where they're storing it and they're renting these big VLCs, they call them very large carriers, and storing all this oil so that they can wait till the market's manipulated enough and they can make more profits off it, right? So there's a massive excess. So even with the 3+ billion excess barrels, you could go months. Even if they cut back production, it would literally take months for all that 3 billion to be weeded out of the system. But yet, overnight, the price of gas going up. What more needs to be said, Canada, or anyone else that pays attention to what I got to say? I'm going to read a little bit more, but I mean, that alone should be enough. I shouldn't even have to go on. But hey, what the hell, right? The oil rally that followed an OPEC agreement to cut production is pushing up the prices of crude, and gasoline prices usually aren't far behind. Mick Teague of GasBuddy.com. And you know what? This GasBuddy.com site, I mean, yeah, they pay attention to it. They do good as far as staying with, but yeah, holy shit. Not people that you want to, they're not on your side, put it that way. The consumer, the people that are going to have to be ripped off and plundered more for this bullshit, right? And think about it. Back when the price of oil was $100-some a barrel and the price of gas was $1.04. Think about how many times when this happens, it gets more and more and more. So the separation, the divide gets more and more, right? So you're just going to get continually ripped off more. Wait till you're paying a couple bucks a liter at some stage of the game or something, right? And they're making and reaping huge dividends and profits. The governments that get to plunder through taxation and the contracts with these businesses, or the crony businesses, or the cartels. I mean, but you as the lowly consumer, as the person that makes everything happen, you're the one getting ripped off. Most consumers seem to be unwilling or shell-shocked or Stockholm Syndrome or whatever fucking reason. They don't. 2 weeks. I've said this before. 2 weeks. Canadians, Americans, Europeans, just 2 weeks. Not even on all the other little things that you're going to need, like you got to eat. 2 weeks. Just stop supporting. Just stop buying gas in any way, shape, or form. Take a couple weeks off work. Everybody, but we all have to do it at the same time, right? Watch how that would play out. You can't get people. You could barely get 2 people in a room to agree to do anything. Never mind try to get the people to come together to fight against their oppressors. That's how the oppressors will keep doing what they do, because they know you fuckers will fight amongst each other, shoot each other in the back, stab each other in the back, sell out, be scabs, do whatever. When someone's trying to stand for principle, you'll sell out. So they know that. This is the problem. They're winning. The people are losing because the people are too unwilling to stand for what is right and be principled. That's the problem. The control freaks and sociopath, they have a much smaller band. They have a much smaller group, so they only have to come together. And they seem to be very much better at doing that thing, showing solidarity with each other. The central planners, they're a great collective because they benefit from each other. The people, they... Totally different story altogether. Sad reality. Says gasoline prices will go up another 3 cents a liter in Eastern Canada on Saturday and another 4 cents a liter in Western Canada. I think these increases will stick around for a while and lead up to the Christmas period when on January 1st, Ontario and Alberta will both be putting in place their carbon taxes, which is going to be good for another 4.5 cents a liter, he said in an email to CBC News. So even, like I said, I don't know. Canadians, man. I'm very disappointed all the time how Canadians just let this stuff go on. I mean, people around the world are fighting and standing up for it, but Canadians, I think these increases, West Texas Intermediate Crude, the main North American oil contract, was trading up 4.4% at $51.60 a barrel at midday in New York. Brent crude, the primary international contract, was up another 2.4 cents to 54.28. West Canada Select, a Canadian contract, was up $1.19 to 35.03. Anyways, I'll put a link to this article in the description of the video below so you can finish reading on. But basically, like I said, all that really needed to be said was said at the top. Not just in the headline, but in the first few sentences of the article. It's all bullshit, folks. To pretend otherwise. I mean, if someone wants to put forth some kind of narrative to suggest how this actually comes to be legitimate? I've never seen it yet. And as you know, people, I pay attention. It's all bullshit. It's all propaganda. It's all lies. It's all based on speculation, price fixing, right? Central planning entirely. And the lowly people, the masses, the consumer, the hardworking individuals in each of our countries are the ones that's always going to have to suffer and pay the consequence for all this shit. It's Canadian Libertarian, and I love liberty.